Y'all, social media comments are bizarre. So let's talk about it. Hey, babes. Welcome back to Moonbae Crochet. It is Brandy, and today I wanted to talk about a funny little topic that I have been noticing over the last year or so. So, if you are somebody who posts content for public consumption, whether it is here on YouTube, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok, people are going to leave comments. And I will go on record and say, I think a good 85 to maybe 90% of my comments are always lovely and positive. I don't really get like hate comments, not too much. I'll get like an odd one here or there, or maybe I wouldn't necessarily say hateful comments, more just like criticism. I don't think it's hateful. However, it's not necessarily constructive criticism either. It's almost kind of like, why did you do that? It's, huh? I think it's just kind of funny. Before I get more into the meat of this topic, I completely forgot. In case you are new here, my name is Brandy. I love to do crochet content on here, getting crafty with you guys and discussing all about the wonderful world of all things crochet and yarn. Most of the time, it's like a little chill vibe. We're just kind of hanging out together. So if that kind of content sounds interesting to you, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, sticking around. We have lots of fun here. And without further ado, let's talk about just the weird comments on social media. First, you need to just kind of acknowledge, like, if you are going to put yourself out there, if you are going to go out of your way and post things to the public, not just, you can post Instagram, photos and stuff like that and only share them with your friends and family, and that's perfectly cool. But if you are going to have a public page where anybody can come across your stuff at any time, you have a chance of striking the algorithm at any time. You just have the entire world of Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever you post on, available to see you at any moment. You're gonna hear comments. You're gonna get people's opinions. Now, me being the very sensitive little cupcake that I am, I take a lot of things personally. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. I do, and I really shouldn't, because at the end of the day, I just know if somebody leaves me a nasty comment, if somebody says something strange to me, I know that it's more to do with them than it is with me. In fact, it's pretty much all to do with them and not with me, because it's like, what? You don't know me? I understand that. I'm split down the middle here. This logical part of my brain knows, like, you're gonna receive comments, you're gonna receive criticism, you're gonna da-da-da-da, like, you're putting yourself out there. Yeah, I know. And this part of me is also like, why? Because, I don't know, this other part of my brain it thinks it's logical in a different way. It's like using the logic of, I would never go out of my way to comment something negative or weird or whatever on somebody's video. You know what I mean? I'm like not a big commenter in general. I don't really ever comment on videos, even videos that I love. It is very, very rare for a video to move me so much that I comment. I find that most of the videos that I comment on are either because they literally made me like laugh so hard, and even then, for the most part, I don't really, I just like the video and move on. But other ones that I like tend to go out of my way to comment on is like, if you see the people on TikTok who are like, hey, I'm trying to pay off my debt, comment something, follow, like, blah, 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 share. I do kind of go out of my way to comment on those people's posts because, I'm just trying to help them. I know I'm only one person, but it's like if everybody did that, then we could help them with their problem, So it's like I like to do those kinds of things. But for the most part, as far as just, if I'm looking up a tutorial, for example, a crochet tutorial, and I find one and I watch it and I'm looking and just thinking, like, I can't really follow this. I can't understand how this person is speaking, or I can't really see exactly what it is that they're doing. Do you know what I do? I simply exit out of the video and go find another one. But there are people on this planet, in fact, quite a bit of them, who will go out of their way to just be like, what's wrong with you? This isn't working. This is not good, blah, blah, whatever. And it's just kind of funny to me because I'm like, this part of my brain. I would never do that, but hey, thanks for the engagement, I guess. So today I pulled just a few comments that I thought were kind of silly off of my personal social media pages, and I thought we could just go through them together. This video might not be that long. I don't get too many negative or critical comments, Most of my comments are actually very positive, and honestly, if you would like me to do a whole video just on like wonderful, beautiful, amazing comments that I've received, I would love to do that as well, because I get so many of those and people just make my day, and like it really warms my heart. I actually do have at least one really cool comment to share in this video that I will save for the end. But for now, let's start with, I posted this tutorial on TikTok, in 2024. It had to have been like maybe April or so, April or May of 2024. And still to this day, I'm getting comments on that video daily. Most of the comments are just like, I don't even know what it is or why people are going out of their way to do this, but they're just commenting random emojis under it, which is like, whatever, I don't care. But half of the people under that comment section are like, oh my gosh, thank you. This was the first tutorial that actually made sense. I can finally do it. Whatever, that's great. I love to be able to help somebody who's new at crocheting. But of course, not every tutorial is for every person. And I will be the first to admit, I really only know how to crochet one way. I only know how to crochet it in the way that I know how. And so if what I'm showing you isn't working, I don't know how else to show you. So probably my tutorial isn't the best for you, right? So one comment that I pulled, because in the tutorial, I show how to make the magic ring and all that, and then I show how to do single crochets within it. And one person commented in all caps, I don't know how to single crochet, except it says single crochet. And I'm like, hey man, that's valid, I guess. I think this is where we kind of are like, hey, if you don't know how to do the basics, single crochet, chain, let's maybe dial it back. How about you start with the basics before you start trying to make amigurumi? I don't know. Personally, I don't know. Obviously, you can do whatever you want, but I don't know. I learned from the basics, and then I worked my way up to making things in the round and stuff like that. But also that crocheting in the round tutorial video that I have has a little like hyperlink for a tutorial playlist that I have. And the very first tutorial I think I ever did, if not maybe the second, I think maybe my first tutorial was how to slip knot and chain. And then the very next tutorial was how to single crochet. So it's like, the information's out there, bud. But I just thought it was funny, like all caps. I don't know how to single crochet. This person says, yeah, this is not a good tutorial, except they put S instead of A. Sometimes because like people who write mean or critical comments, there's always spelling errors. It's like, did you type this in a feverish rage? But I mean, hey, if it wasn't a good tutorial, I mean, that's fine. You can go find another one. I would never go out of my way to be like, yeah, this tutorial sucked. I would never do that to somebody. I would just be like, okay, and go find another one. But hey, I think that notion is inconceivable to some people. So, okay, this one was actually like super funny to me because I cannot tell if it's a critical comment or a good one. They said that in order to find my video, I searched crocheting without yapping, but like in the video, I am talking through the entire thing. I'm like explaining to people how you do this and how you increase the round and how you go from this step to this step. And obviously, if you guys have been here for a while, I'm a certified yapper. I have my PhD from Yap University, okay? So I cannot tell if they're being sarcastic or not, but maybe that is the point. So good on them, because I think that this is the exact opposite of crocheting without yapping. But that one, it did make me laugh, honestly. I was like, I searched crocheting without yapping. You came to the wrong place. Okay, so now this is my most viewed video ever on TikTok and Instagram. But right now I'm on my TikTok comments, and this is my Snow White Granny Square video. The video where I first introduced the idea of, here's a big old list of all, quote unquote all, the animated Disney movies, and I'm going to crochet a granny square for each one. And I started with Snow White because I'm going in chronological order. Well, I didn't know that I was going to go in chronological order at the time, but I started with Snow White because I was like, she's the first and we gotta go. So anyway, I made my Snow White square. It blew up. It blew up even more on Instagram than it did on TikTok, honestly. But anyway, so obviously when a video kind of blows up, there's just so many comments to sift through. And this one isn't critical either. It's sometimes I get comments that are just like silly. I'm like, are you trolling? Like, there's no way that you actually thought this. So this one says, why an apple? Surely that's Sleeping Beauty. When I first saw that comment, I was like, nah. They're messing with me. I feel like you don't even have to be a Disney fan to know the story of Snow White. Like, I I don't know, but I don't know. Like, maybe I'm being judgy now. But I was like, is this person messing with me? So I didn't even respond to the comment. But somebody else did respond to them, and they said, Snow White bites the poison apple. Sleeping Beauty pricks her finger on the cursed spinning wheel. And then they replied and said, OMG, yeah, my bad. I had it in my head Sleeping Beauty bites the apple. Thank you. Makes sense now. So I guess we really did have people out here thinking that Sleeping Beauty was the apple princess. That one was just kind of silly to me. I just decided to throw it in because I'm like, I don't know. It made me giggle. It did make me giggle. This one, actually, I had so many people like in an uproar over the list of movies that I decided to include / not include on my own Disney Granny Square project. I had people giving me opinions left and right. Why didn't you include Fantasia? That's from the 40s. Where's Mary Poppins? Even though Mary Poppins is a live action movie. Yes, I know that there are slight animations here and there, but for the most part, it's a live action movie, you know? So I didn't include it, you know, and I state in every video, part of crocheting squares based on all the animated Disney movies. Hear that? Animated Disney movies. On my list. So anyway, whatever. People just don't like listen or pay attention to the details sometimes. But I still had, like, to this day, I still have people being like, why, where's this movie? You forgot this. Like, stop it. No, I didn't. I didn't forget. But, you know, I've learned to just ignore those people because the information is out there. If they search through the comments, if they watch the videos, they will know that I've stated so many times like why certain movies aren't on the list, what I'm doing with the squares at the end of it. You know, I feel like I get a lot of repeat questions and I'm like, you know what, even some of my, like, the people that follow me will reply back to those people saying like, hey, she talked about this in whatever video. So I'm like, you know what, clearly the information is out there. People know how to find the information. If they really wanted to, they would. Because that's what I do, honestly. When I'm like going through scrolling and something really catches my attention, but I'm like, hold on, I think I'm missing some context here. I go to their profile, I search down, I try to, like, I'm a little detective at that point. It's kind of fun. So I feel like, if people want to know things, they'll know. I cannot be responding to every single comment that's like, where the hell is the Rescuers Down Under? I can't do it. So, you know, whatever. But this person in particular said, Disney or Disney / Pixar? I would say stick to Disney only, not Disney / Pixar. Hold on. Did you approve my timesheet last week? Oh, by the way, did you see my PTO request for December? Oh, no? Oh, you're not my boss? Right. Oh, it's too high up. But if you guys seen any of my vlogs and stuff, you know, I have Coco backpacks up here. Coco is probably my favorite Disney movie of all time. And it's Disney Pixar, but it's like, you thought that I was going to do this project and not include Coco? Up? The Incredibles? Monsters, Inc.? That's silly. And this is far from the only person that has ever said, like, why did you include Pixar on this? That's not Disney. But it's like, but no, but it is though. It is though. And yes, I know Disney didn't always own Pixar. Yeah, I know that. But Disney has owned Pixar for decades at this point. Toy Story was the first Disney Pixar movie ever released. Just because it is Pixar does not mean it is not also Disney. This is a classic frogs and toads situation. Not all Disney movies are Pixar, but all Pixar movies are Disney. You know, that's just the way that the cookie crumbles, and there are way too many iconic Pixar films for me to not include them in this project. Like, what? But regardless, I was like, why do you think you get to tell me what to do? This is my project. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I hope I'm not coming off like defensive, but these are the things that I think. Oh, we got another Pixar hater over here. And this one actually kind of made me giggle a little bit. They said, don't add elemental. It's a Pixar. Something about the use of in that sentence, it's a Pixar, feels loaded. Like, what do you mean it's a Pixar? Like, it's still Disney. I don't know. That kind of made me laugh. Like, don't add elemental. It's a Pixar. What? You know, but meanwhile, I have so many people like, why didn't you include Anastasia? Where's Thumbelina? And I'm like, those aren't Disney though. Like, I have half of you people crying that I didn't put the Brave Little Toaster on, but then I have half of you upset with me that I included Wish. Like, just let me be. But I don't know. So I feel like I need to incorporate It's a Pixar into my daily life now. This one again isn't like a critical comment necessarily. I just think it's like kind of funny. This person said, I love this series, but I wish you would post 2 to 3 times a week. And you know, same queen. I wish I could. It's hard. I'm just a girl. I think a lot of people don't like realize like when someone posts a lot of content on social media that it is entirely possible for that person to also have like a 9 to 5 job, other responsibilities outside of doing that. I think a lot of people just think of everybody who posts online as a content creator and that's just what they do. And let me be so completely honest with you. I wish that that's what I could do. I wish I could just get paid a livable wage to only post my content all day, you know? Like that would fulfill me. I really would love to do something like that. But, you know, until that is a viable source of income for me, I gotta do what I gotta do. I still gotta pay my bills. And so, you know, I just think it was kind of funny. I was like, you know, hey, same. I do wish that I could post that often as well. But unfortunately, in order to avoid burnout, sometimes I gotta, you know, not spread myself so thin. Okay, so this one actually did rub me the wrong way a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I did actually take the time to reply to this comment because I was like, nah, come on now. So I think I've mentioned this in a few videos, but with this Disney Granny Square project, you know, I started uploading it in March of 2024 over on TikTok. And it was only in, I think, June of this year, 2025, that I started cross-posting and uploading a video every single day on my Instagram of the videos that I had already posted to my TikTok. I don't know why I'm surprised because they kind of blew up on TikTok, but they also blew up on Instagram. Now I have even more followers on Instagram than I do on TikTok, which is bananas to me. I never thought that was going to happen. But so many people are falling in love with this project on Instagram now as well. And so that's awesome. I love to see that. I love that people are enjoying my creativity and my idea. I uploaded this Toy Story Square video to my TikTok in 2024, early 2024, like maybe May or June. And so now I'm reposting this same exact video to Instagram in 2025. July 2025. And in the video, you know, I don't change the audio or anything. I literally just save it from TikTok, go upload it on Instagram. And so a lot of the times the audio that I'm speaking in the video isn't relevant to what's going on like in the current moment. It's a repost. But a lot of people still don't know that, even though I have stated it in a lot of the other videos. You know, they just see what's on their For You page or whatever they call it on Instagram. But you know, they're just scrolling, they're just going about their business and whatever. So I'm like, okay, you know, as long as you're not confused, if you're just enjoying the videos, who cares? But in my Toy Story video, when I was talking about like my commentary on the movie and all that, I said something along the lines of, the voice actors were great, and I said, I love me some Tom Hanks, and then I said, Tim Allen, you know, whatever, he's fine, he's alright. But I think that he fit. I don't know if I said something like, not the biggest fan of Tim Allen, but whatever. But I think he did the voice of Buzz very well. I think he fit the character perfectly. That's literally all I said. Like, it's just a fact. I don't care that much about Tim Allen. He's like, whatever. If I saw Tim Allen on the street, I'd be like, what the hell? That's Tim Allen. Like, what? Crazy, you know? But he's not one of my favorite actors in the world. It's just, it is what it is. And so, I don't know if there's been some stuff going on with Tim Allen recently, but somebody commented on this Toy Story video on Instagram, my repost, now in July of 2025, and they said, what's wrong with Tim Allen? He's awesome. I hope you're not talking politics. That would ruin this whole thing. And I was like, what the hell? That take must have been on the very top shelf because that was a reach. Again, I'm not up to date on Tim Allen info, okay? I really don't pay any mind to most of these celebrities. Like, I can't. And so I was like, what in the world? I felt the need to respond to this person because I'm like, if something as small as that could ruin this whole thing for you, I don't think you need to be here, honestly. I didn't say that. So again, I don't know what's up with Tim Allen, but all I know is I told this person basically something along the lines of like, bringing politics in this is a wild reach. You're allowed to think he's awesome, and I'm allowed to think he's just fine. And I think I said, like, I never said anything was wrong with him. I just said he's whatever. Like, I think, and then I like defended myself by saying like, and I said he did the voice of Buzz well, but it's like, why am I defending myself? If that's the way you want to think, then okay, adios, sweetheart. If something as vapid as that could ruin this whole thing for you, Okay, bye. Like, if I had said, again, I don't know what Tim Allen is doing out here, okay? But if he is being like a horrible, hateful person, I'm allowed to have a problem with that, but I really don't know. I don't know what he's doing. And so if I had said something along the lines of, I hate Tim Allen's political views, so I think he's not right for this movie and blah blah. You know, wasn't Kevin Spacey like the voice of that grasshopper in Bug's Life? Okay? Like, yeah, he's a weirdo. Like, you know, James Woods is a very problematic person. He's the voice of Hades. But I love Hades and I love Hercules, and I still think that James Woods did a very good job with that voice. Like, I think he fit the bill very well. So, you know, what I said about Tim Allen didn't have anything to do with his politics. I literally just said, like, like, I don't care about Tim Allen. And I thought that it was weird for this person to say, I hope this isn't about politics, because that would ruin this whole thing. And then also when doing this type of project, you get a lot of opinions on just your work in general, which, like, yeah, of course, you're going to hear it. There's going to be people, especially like, gosh, on ones like my Alice in Wonderland square, for example, I decided to do the card suits. I did like the heart, the diamond, the spade, and the club, right, on a blue square with a white trim. I think it looks very cute. I think it's very subtle Alice. I love it. And Alice in Wonderland isn't even one of my favorite movies, but I do love that square that I crocheted. Oh my gosh, I should have tried to find this comment. Somebody commented something along the lines of like, I wish you would have crocheted like an invisible smile. What? I told my best friend, I was like, pray tell, how does one crochet an invisible smile? I don't know. That one was just funny to me. But I've heard so many comments like, why didn't you crochet the Mad Hatter's hat? Why didn't you crochet this or that? Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm like, you know, if you don't like what I crocheted, why don't you make your own? And tag me when you make it so I can see it. Like, I explain all the reasons in my videos why I crochet the things that I do and why I put what I put on each square. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's my project. And I'm making this big old Disney blanket because Disney means a lot to me. And I love it, and it brings me joy, and it is what it is. It's not for you, it's for me. But so I found a comment on Instagram under my Tarzan square, which a ton of people didn't love what I did for Tarzan. I never heard anybody say that on TikTok though, but the Instagram people don't seem to like my Tarzan square. Most of them do, again. Like I said, it's very rare that I get these critical comments, but somebody said, I'm not a big fan of the Tarzan. I truly believe you could have done something to resemble the movie better. Love everything else. And I was like, okay. I wouldn't necessarily call that a backhanded compliment. I guess she's just giving me her feedback. But I was like, I don't know. I mean, how would you have represented Tarzan, okay? I crocheted two hands on top of each other like this to represent that moment that Tarzan and Jane touch hands, and he like comes to the realization like, oh my gosh, like you're like me. Like I'm like you. I'm a person. I'm not a monkey. You know, I don't know. I thought it was cute. But a lot of people don't like it, so I keep saying a lot. No, a lot of people do like it. It's just a handful of people. Somebody, not even under the Tarzan video, commented, I think, on the next video I did, which was Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. I think it was that one. Anyway, they said, that Tarzan square is so disappointing, crying emoji. Sorry, my God. Every single time I see a comment like that, again, this is the part of my brain, I don't know, back here, that takes everything so personally. Every time I see a comment like that, I really want to reply, tag me when you make yours. Kissy face. Maybe that's childish, but hey, that's why I don't do it. This is why I think things and I don't act on them, okay? Oh my gosh, okay, so this was a comment under my Pocahontas square video on Instagram. And in that video, during the commentary of the movie, I did say, like, the story is horribly inaccurate, you know, about, because, you know, Pocahontas was, like, a real person or whatever, and, you know, this is, like, a romanticized Disney version of it. Basically, like, they took the name. I really feel like all Disney did was take the name of this princess and, like, the name of John Smith and all these people, right? And then they turned it into just a completely different story. So it's not really Pocahontas' story. But anyway, in the video I said something along the lines of like, yeah, super inaccurate movie, but hey, the colors are beautiful, the animation's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. This person commented, no, because Beauty and the Beast, Ariel, and all the others are so realistic. Of course. It's Disney. Yeah, but Beauty and the Beast and Ariel are not based on real people. Pocahontas is. So, you know, you don't catch me in my commentary for Little Mermaid and Belle being like, oh my God, this was so inaccurate. Like, yeah, it's a fairy tale. Pocahontas was a real girl. She's like a historical figure. So I think it was a little weird to comment that, but whatever. I left it alone. I almost replied though. I had a reply all typed out and I was like, I'm sending this to Rita. Rita's my best friend, by the way. Okay, this one, I completely forgot to take the screenshot of it. I'll go find it later. So I can't read it word for word, but I'm going to tell you the best that I can. Somebody commented on my original Snow White video. They were being so snarky too, dude. They thought that they were sunning me. They said, girl, that Snow White did not come out in 1937. They didn't even have color until like the 50s or 60s. And I was like, girl, you've never seen Wizard of Oz. I was flabbergasted. I was like, she thought she was owning me with that comment. Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, maybe not everybody in their homes had color TVs in the 30s, but Snow White did come out in color. Babe, they started making color, integrating color into the pictures in like early 30s. And like, no, they weren't like full vibrant color like we have now, but they had some color. So anyway, it made me laugh and I could not help myself. I had to comment back. I said, Google is free, babe. And then she swiftly deleted her comment. I was kind of sad, but I was like, you thought you ate. You did. That one made me laugh a lot. And then lastly, I actually got, I think what I would consider my very first like hate comment on YouTube. Again, not hate, but like, I was like, okay, you're being a little mean and nasty. It was a comment under my what to do with velvet yarn video here on YouTube. And that video was posted like over 3 months ago. But I just got this comment recently, like a day or two ago. Again, this is like a complete run-on sentence and I'm going to just read it exactly as it's written, but I think you'll get the gist. It says, you know what? You talk too much. If you're going to show something, show it. Don't keep talking about and your hands need to slow. Those patterns are senseless. We're here to make real things, not your little tiny girly things for little ones, okay? Some of us are looking for... Yeah. Also, it says that comment was edited, so I'm like, what the fuck? What part did you edit? I still can't really understand it. But anyway, I thought that one was funny. I was like, well, yeah, I do talk a lot. That's my whole brand. People who don't like it don't typically stay. But anyway, I did rewatch a portion of the video and I was like, yeah, I am kind of talking a lot, but I think that that's just who I am. I like to give you guys the reasons for why I like certain things and why I liked a pattern and how it went for me. And, what do you want from me? Anyway, I was like, who is this? My goodness. She woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. But yeah, anyway, I do talk a lot, so I'll give her that. And then I know at the beginning of this video, I did tell you guys that I would share a positive comment, only one because it needs to be highlighted. But if you guys want a whole video on just positive comments that I receive, honestly, I think it would be even more comments that I would get to share in a video because I get so many positive comments. Like, so many people are so lovely and gracious and just wonderful. And so I think going through some of my videos and finding like the best, like most heartfelt comments, I would love to share them with you guys because it's not just the comments that I'm talking about where it's like, oh, I love this, you're doing such a good job. Like, I'm not trying to just like make a whole video of people gassing me up. I've had comments of people telling me like, I'm enjoying your videos, I'm stuck on bed rest right now and your videos are like causing me joy. And those kind of comments like really touch my soul. I'm like, wow, I'm affecting this person in a positive way. And that's really what I strive to do on the internet. I don't like to be a negative person, honestly. That's why I don't really make videos like this addressing silly, mean comments or critical comments or anything like that. I really like to be positive, but I did want to highlight this one comment from a very specific company under my Bugs Life Square on Instagram. Pixar commented on my video. I cannot believe I got their attention. And also, I saw the comment like 3 days later after they had posted it. I was so upset. I was upset that I saw it so late, but I couldn't believe that they like noticed me. Pixar noticed me. What? And they commented because on that square I crocheted applique of Heimlich, but after he turns into a butterfly with his tiny little wings, and they just commented, he's a beautiful butterfly. I can't believe Pixar noticed me. I'm like, hey bookies, like, what? Don't be shy, slide into the DMs. But yeah, I didn't have that on my 2025 bingo card, I'll tell you that. So yeah, wow. That was awesome. Anyway, this video actually did turn out to be much longer than I thought it would be. I thought this was going to be a very fast video because I feel like I didn't have that many screenshots to share, but here we are. I'm like 43 minutes into filming this. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for being here as always, and thank you guys for always leaving such wonderful, lovely comments. I know that as long as I'm here on the internet, there are going to be people who, don't vibe with me, don't like how much I yap, they don't like the way that I explain things, and whatever. That's all good, and obviously people are always going to give me their feedback, which, hey, it's welcome. But yeah, so many of you just leave me the best comments every single day, all the time, and I just thought that this would be a fun video to kind of share, kind of like the opposite side of that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here as always. I so appreciate you. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day, week, month, night, whatever you're having. Please enjoy yourself, and I will see you all in the next one. Mwah. Bye!